Hello everybody, D Square here with another spoiler-free comic review followed by a breakdown of the issue. Here we are, it's issue number 5 of this Uncanny X-Men series. We're halfway through this 10-part series. Issue number 5, this is where most stories arc conclude. This is where most arcs start to get wrapped up, but in this case, we're still getting ramped up. This isn't the strongest issue for sure. Some parts are not explained well, and it makes you feel like you missed some things in the previous issues when in fact you did not. Perhaps some of that is on me and my perception, but that's just how I felt. You do start to learn a bit more about why Kitty Pryde, Apocalypse, and the Senator are being held captive, and it's pretty crazy. We start to get a little more perspective on the X-Man, and it's strange. We get some great interaction between Polaris and Magneto as father and daughter. Psylocke and Angel also have some major interaction in this issue, which is somewhat heart-wrenching, but very interesting. Overall, I thought this issue moved things along and did not stack too much more crazy stuff on top of an already crazy story. I enjoyed the development, and it had a great ending that makes me eager to see what will happen in the next issue. So, thankfully, we won't have to wait very long for the next issue. As I've mentioned before, this is a weekly series. So here we go. Here is my breakdown of Uncanny X-Men number 5, Disassembled number 5. I hope you enjoy it very much. And again, I do always encourage you to actually purchase this comic if you have not done so already. Enjoy. In the middle of a routine X-Men training mission, Kitty Pryde crashed the X-Men's jet and vanished. Unbeknownst to the X-Men, she had been abducted by the omnipotent mutant X-Man, aka Nate Gray, and sequestered in a secret location with anti-mutant Senator Allen and the ancient mutant supremacist Apocalypse. In an effort to enact world peace, X-Men has taken on 4 horsemen of salvation, Magneto, Blob, Omega Red, and Angel, to remake the world as he sees fit. Long extinct wildlife revived, oil rigs under attack, weapons removed from hostile territories, and the Xavier Institute destroyed. Meanwhile, near omnipotent mutant Legion, aka David Hayler, has foreseen X-Men's scheme and attempted to head it off by forcing his many superpowered psyches into the duplicate bodies of Multiple Man, aka Jimmy Madrox, in order to create an army capable of intervening. Not trusted by the senior X-Men members, Legion has found allies in young X-Men Armor, Pixie, Rockslide, and Glob, while the senior X-Men send separate squads to triage the multiple attacks of the Horsemen of Salvation. This issue starts by showing us the battle between the villagers and the now unarmed soldiers that started during the last issue. We see that Storm, Psylocke, Nightcrawler, Jubilee, and Polaris are still on scene and are making a futile attempt to keep them from killing each other. In the last issue, we were given the impression that Magneto took the soldiers' guns, made a giant statue of the X-Men with the medal, then left. We can now clearly see that they are still there. It isn't made clear whether they left and came back or was perhaps hiding their presence, but whatever the case, they are very visible now. While this battle rages on, it shows that Kitty Pryde, Apocalypse, and the Senator are still captured. However, the X-Men is with them and relaying what is happening. Kitty Pryde and Apocalypse are bickering at each other. The X-Man insists that they don't need to fight and they are all friends. He insists that Apocalypse's views should be considered in this situation. Out of nowhere, he asks Apocalypse to give him advice. Apocalypse suggests that as a person who fancies himself as a god, that he should destroy all other gods. Much to Kitty's horror, the X-Man takes Apocalypse's advice. With a mere thought, he destroys all the major religious landmarks on Earth. Kitty Pryde protests this loudly, but is only met with the X-Man gagging her with his powers. In another strange move, the X-Men then turns to the Senator and asks him what he thinks needs to be done. We then check back with the oil rig that Omega Red and Blob attacked. The X-Men team of Jean Grey, Iceman, X-23, and Northstar are finishing up saving the crew from the Megalodon-infested waters. They look back to see that the oil rig is now completely engulfed in some sort of crazy jungle growth. They leave the safety of the X-Jet to survey the new landscape and are amazed that the oil rig has been transformed into a natural paradise teeming with new life. We briefly touch base with Beast back in his lab. We saw that in the last issue a vial of anti-mutant vaccine had disappeared. Beast is checking his lab video security logs to see who the culprit is, but still cannot identify who it actually is. He instructs his computer to compare the body movements and give him potential matches. Glob escorts Jamie Madrox back to the Xavier Institute, or at least what's left of it. He sees the wreckage and asks if Legion did this, but is informed that it was Magneto, Blob, Omega Red, and Angel. Legion and the rest of the X-students are digging at the rubble in order to find Cerebro. Legion tries to get buddy-buddy with Jamie Madrox, but Jamie is having none of that. He will cooperate with Legion, but otherwise wants Legions to stay away from him, and I, for one, don't blame him. They find and open Cerebro. Legion plans to use his powers with Cerebro to find the X-Man's location. He is successful and asks the X-students if they are ready to save the world. We join back with the team of X-Men who are trying to stop the villagers and unarmed soldiers from killing each other. They take note that Magneto and Angel have done nothing but watch. Polaris asks her father, who is of course Magneto, "What are you doing, father?" Magneto explains that the X-Men should not be here and that they are doing the will of the X-Men, which in this case is to level the playing field between the villagers and the soldiers. Polaris asks her father for the location of the X-Men. As she does this, she lifts up the giant statue with her powers. This angers Magneto and he threatens Polaris with a fight if she does not put the tribute back. She then proceeds to destroy it. Storm, Psylocke, and Cannonball devise a plan to deal with Angel. Cannonball somehow is able to get under Angel, then use his blast powers to tackle Angel upwards, and he keeps going until he's almost in space. Cannonball then reverses course while still hanging on to Angel and flies down back to the Earth, smashing Angel into the ground. I'm not sure what this accomplished because Angel gets back up and starts talking to Psylocke. Psylocke and Angel have a romantic type relationship, so she tries to reason with him. He does not listen, so she knows what she has to do. She tees off on him with her psychic blade. Psylocke is sorry that it had to come to this. The Angel is on the ground, but he recovers. He is changed. His angelic countenance is destroyed, and he is now seen in his Archangel form. The Archangel is very upset and claims that Psylocke has just taken the only peace that he has ever known. He states, "You have ruined me forever." Well, there you have it. There's my breakdown of Uncanny X-Men issue number 5, X-Men Disassembled Part 5. As I said earlier in the spoiler-free review, this didn't conclude any sort of story arcs. It just kept the story going, giving us a little bit more into what is actually happening and continuing to set up the chess pieces in this story. So I hope you join me again next time as I review Uncanny X-Men number 6, X-Men Disassembled Part 6. It'll be out very soon, and although this wasn't the strongest issue in the series, it definitely does have me looking forward to the next issue. And I hope you all join me next time as well. Have a great day, everyone.